Hello, this is Jer. I'm playing Oxygen Not Included, and this is Cycle 5 of my playthrough, the Moonlet cluster. So, in this world, my dupe is trapped temporarily, and I'm just making sure that they can produce some oxygen from themselves while they're waiting for the teleportation system to recharge. But in my home world, I have three goals today, the first of which is to build a supercomputer to do advanced research. So, let's actually don't have the research done for that, so I'm going to start off with getting scientists to do the research for that. So they should very quickly be going down and starting that. There they are, scientists is at work. I'm going to build that next to the pretty pod because that produces light, and that's going to give scientists the well-lit advantage while they're operating it. It also needs power, so why not construct the wire now? That's going to be in the center of the 3x3 supercomputer that's going to be built eventually. The second thing rather, is I want a water pitch because the research station requires water. So I'm going to build that down here. So I'm going to build a door that's going to be next to the Great Hall. I don't want to destroy the Great Hall, so I'm going to build a door to maintain that. And I'm going to put the water pitch right next to it, so my dupes can have it. Actually, that's not good because it's going to destroy the floor of the latrine. Let's drop that by one tile. There we are. Actually, might as well drop the door as well. Okay, so my dupes will go in there when they need water to put that into the research station. Okay, so with that, it looks like research for the supercomputer rather is complete. So I can now construct that. I'm also starting on the third part of this, which is going to require draining that water over there. So now that I've got that, let's just put a priority over the water pitch because I won't be able to operate the supercomputer without water. So I'm going to put, as I mentioned, the supercomputer next to the printy pod. And as soon as that is set, I'm going to set the research to be a critter station because I want a stable. Actually, I want a set of stables to be built to get those pips to produce more eggs because I ultimately want to get the carnivore achievement and get that out of the way. Oh, look at that. Excellent. So in this world, my dupe has produced some copper ore, so I can build a oxygen diffuser. Might as well put a bin. I'll store algae there. That's going to need power, so I'm going to build a battery, and then I'm going to wait for that to be constructed and then ultimately put in a manual generator there in the future. I'm scared to put a manual generator in now because they could be wasting cycles on that without a battery. But anyway, all right, so let's see. In this bin down here, I ultimately want to trap, or in that little room, I want to trap a pip, but I'm just waiting for a pip to still get in there. They haven't. Keep watching for that. But as I mentioned, I want some stables and a room to do a lullaby effect to eggs. We'll see that later on. But anyway, I've got some water that's in the way, so I just want to drain that out. And if my dupes can do that, actually no, that's the end of this cycle, so I think that's good progress. I get a supercomputer anyway. I can see that I don't have anyone or scientist that has the proper skills, so I'll give that in the next cycle. I'll see you there. All right, this is cycle 6. So for this one, I am going to concentrate on a few things, mostly the stable. If I get lucky and I get a pip in this room, I'm going to concentrate or work towards getting nature reserve. Oh, come on, somebody, please close that door. I may have this has been frustrating, but anyway. So eventually a pip is going to go in there and okay, go dupe, come on, somebody shut that door. Okay, got a pip trapped in here. Not urgent, but I'll take advantage of that. I'm going to put in some decorative type seeds in there, briar seeds, etc., and dump that on the floor and get those pips to create wild plants because that's you need 4 wild plants in a nature reserve. And I'll dig out some of those, what are they called, mirth type plants. They're decorative type ones. It doesn't really matter what wild plants you have in there. I just need 4 of them. So they'll go in there and I'll eventually be able to get this nature reserve. All right, in the other world, so my manual generator is missing. So it's now ready to be built. And the moment this dupe creates that, they'll get on it, charge that battery, and I'll actually might as well mark that bin to store algae, and they'll produce oxygen. So they're going to survive. I didn't really have any doubt on that fact, but I'm just waiting for that teleportation system to recharge, because the moment it does, I'm just going to get this dupe to come back. But now that they're producing oxygen, I'm not really worried at all about them surviving. There's some food in that base just to begin with. So I might as well just get them to set up the basics of a base, because I'm eventually going to be coming back here with some other dupes to do some interesting things. So I might as well not have them idle. I'll cut out some spots for some rooms. Perhaps I'll build a latrine. And I already actually have a barracks. So the other one could be a great hall. I should, if I can find a Brer seed, I should be able to get that together. But anyways, yeah, I'll just keep them busy while they're there. All right, the other dupes over here are having a shower, because I haven't built showers yet. I drain that water because I want to build a egg hatching station. So I'll talk about that later. Bring in some oxylite. Still haven't produced a method to generate oxygen. Anyways, let's assign some skills, because I need Hugger. They're going to be Critter Rancher. Scientist needs the advanced research. Engineer needs someone with hard digging, so they'll get that one. And Rancher will have improved farming. Eventually, want them to have a Critter Rancher. They'll get that once they have another skill upgrade. Okay, so what is left to do? We need to dig out a spot for all those stables. I'm just wondering if I can upgrade the Hugger with the... Yeah, they've got enough morale bonus. I can give them the Critter Rancher 2 skill. That'll give them a little bit of advantage when they're in the stables that are yet to be built. So just waiting for some seeds to be dumped or put in that bin so that I can get wild plants in the future and making nature reserve ultimately. So digging up, because I know I'm going to build electrolyzers soon. And I want a place for hydrogen to go up into. And I'm building a spot on the left for a series of stables for my pips. And I'll get my dupes to work on this. We're getting towards the end of the cycle. So perhaps I will go see you on cycle 7. See you then. Welcome to cycle 7. So in this cycle, I want to focus on getting my dupes to dig out those areas that I've already selected. That's where my stables are going to be. So stables are going to be a little bit different than the last playthrough. The last playthrough, I made them very tall. They were 4 by 4, 4 by 5. But anyway, they were very slim but tall. And the reason for that is they were bug creatures, hatches, and sweeties that couldn't climb the walls. These pips can climb walls, and that makes them a little bit more difficult. Because what's going to happen if I build a grooming station on the far right over here, which is where I'm going to have it, and I make this a giant room, if that pip was on the far left, I'd have to wait for, or the dupe would have to wait for the pip to go all the way over to get to the grooming station. So instead of doing that, I'm going to build a set of smaller stables that can just fit 3 critters each, or three pips each. So each of them is still going to have its own grooming station, a drop-off station. I'm also building a bin because these creatures quite nicely eat the leaves of the arb trees, and that kind of makes their food source free once assuming that they plant them initially and then waiting for that thing to grow. But so what I'm going to do is going to put some arb trees in that bin, empty the bin, put in a pip, and then wait for that pip to plant it, and then that's their food source. 3 of them can exist in there, and they'll be at the grooming station, so they'll increase the amount of eggs they lay, ultimately help me get the carnivore achievement, and as well as just providing food for my base, which is also important. So that's cycle 7. On to cycle 8. On to cycle 8. So on this world, I'm just waiting for that teleportation system to fully recharge and send this dude back, but don't want to waste time here, so I'm going to get them to set up a latrine, and hopefully by the time that's constructed, it'll be around the time to be able to send them back. Also, I'm going to cut out tiles down here and turn this into a great hall ultimately, if I've got time. Okay, so I'll just cut out a bit that area. Over here, still waiting for my dupes to do a bit of digging. I'm going to assign this drop-off station to have 3 critters. I mentioned each of these stables can fit 3 comfortably. And start doing some wrangling. So I already have the ancient dupe that I've defrosted. They already have this skill. They're called Hugger, so they're going to go around. I might as well up the priority, because when a critter gets wrangled, they don't stay that way forever. So if a dupe doesn't take them to the drop-off station in enough time, they'll get free and you'll have to do it again, just wasting time. So that's why I'm upping the priority for the drop-off station. So I already have 2 pips in there, it looks like. I actually have a pip already trapped in there, and they've done some planting. It looks like I've got 2 wild plants. I'm just waiting for 2 more at least. So that's good progress on that one. And you've noticed I built some tiles in there. So I'm basically instructing the pips on where I want the herb trees to be planted in those 2 tiles there. All right, so I might as well start digging out a spot for, so I want a place for my eggs to have the lullaby effect applied. And that also needs to be done by someone that has the critter skill. And I'm going to have 2 rooms with that. And I'll talk about that in another episode. But I'll start the research for the incubator, which is going to be the centerpiece for that. So you'll see about that going forward. I'll just leave it for now, and I'll see you in the next cycle. Okay, so cycle 9. I'm just going to advance the stables, see if I can create a few more, because they're a lot smaller than I'm used to. And continuing on the research for the incubator, I don't think that's going to happen in this episode. But hopefully in the next episode, I'll have that set up, because that's going to be a centerpiece for getting the carnivore achievement, as well as feeding my dupes. Oh, Rancher. Of course you would do this. Of course you would destruct this in such a way that you get trapped. All right, I'll build a path for them to be able to get back. They had a bad night. They slept on the floor and made a mess, is what happened. I can see that. All right, I can... It sucks to be them. The teleportation system, on the other hand, is recharged. So how about if you just mop that mess up, I'll send you back, and that's going to greatly increase your morale from this terrible time that you've had in this space. All right, so Rancher's going back. That's actually really good, because now with 4 dupes over here, the construction and digging things will go a little bit quicker. So that's a positive thing. So I'm going to bring in more dirt, because I'm not going to select rather one of my dupes, a new dupe, because I'm scared of having 5 at this point in time, because I don't believe I'm producing enough food. I don't have my incubator and whole system, and I need more ranches. My ranches are smaller than I'm used to, as I mentioned. So let's start to get working on that. It's going to be the same design for each of them. I'm going to dig out that herb tree, because I want that moved over to exact spot, and build tiles that I've actually, so I'm doing this for 2 reasons. One, as I mentioned, I'm instructing the pips where to go. I'm also going to make it so that I don't have to do this later and have the pips run out of the room. All right, so a little bit of a mishap in this episode. One of my dupes made a mess on the floor and then probably slept in it. Yeah, I'm sure they're not happy, but that's because this game requires an intense amount of multitasking, and I'll admit multitasking is not my strong point. But the good news is they teleported back to the home world, so I have all 4 dupes in the same world, or same asteroid, so I can monitor them all together, at least for the next little while, until they have to start exploring different asteroids again. But on the positive side of things, I have also created my first stable, and that is going to increase the rate at which these pips produce eggs, ultimately giving me more food. The other thing is I'm starting the research for the incubator, and I hope this next episode is going to be on that, because the incubator can increase, or decrease rather, the time that it takes for an egg to hatch. Anyway, if you like this series, like this video, subscribe, and hopefully see you in a future episode. Till then, Jer signing out.